Hi everyone, welcome to your Yin Yoga practice for the lower half of the body. My name is Lisa Jang, also known as the Yin Yoga Muse. For today's practice, you'll need a couple of blocks. A couple of textbooks will be handy instead if you don't have any yoga blocks. A yoga strap. You can use a bathrobe belt or even a scarf if you don't have a yoga belt. A blanket might be nice, and a pillow or a yoga bolster. So let's begin. We're going to start off in child's pose. So let's go ahead, pat up your knees with a blanket as you need to. You can also grab your bolster. Your knees can be together or knees can be wide apart. You choose. Do what's comfortable for you. And maybe the bolster in front. As you're here, gently start to snuggle in. Allow your shin bones to be comfortable, toes untucked. And allow your top body to rest on the pillow or on the ground in front of you. Letting your forehead relax down towards the earth. I'm gonna lift my head so that you guys can hear me. Or you can lay in the bolster with your head turned towards the side. You choose. But let's take an opportunity here just to ground, to settle in, to notice how we're feeling today in our bodies. So begin to close your eyes. Make sure you have a space that's nice and quiet. This time is for you. So begin to let go of the day. Any conversations that may be ruminating in your minds to the best of your ability. And let's start to take a deep inhale through our nose. And a deep exhale out through our mouth. Breathing in through your nose. And as you breathe out, a clear, deliberate exhalation, let it go. And one more time, slow, deep in breath. And then slow, deliberate, clearing out breath. As you're here, begin to let your breath find this natural pathway. Soften through your jaw, your shoulders. And just begin to notice how you're feeling in the lower half of your body. From your feet, your calves, all the way up towards your thighs, your hips. Notice right side and left side. Notice maybe there's subtle discrepancies between the two. Just notice these discrepancies without any judgment. Our intention today is to work through the lower half of the body, to refresh, to revive some of these tissues that have been hard working for us. So from that intention, breathe in. Slowly breathe out. As you're ready, you're going to slowly start to open your eyes, keep your gaze soft, and begin to come off your yoga props. Let's do a couple of cat-cows, a more familiar type of pose or movement in the body before we head to our first yin posture. So take your hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath your hips as you're here. Starting off with cow pose, drop your belly, let it sink down as you draw your heart forward. As you breathe out, pressing round into the upper back there, let the shoulder blades protract, let the pelvis tilt, tailbone tucks. Slowly let the sitting bones flare back and apart as you drop the belly and open it up through your clavicle bones. And slowly breathe out. And one more time, deep in breath. And slow, deep out breath. From here, come to neutral spine. And we're going to start off with what I like to call the plantar fascia smush. So we're going to take the top of your left ankle, or the left foot, and the arch of your right foot. And what I would like you to do is grab your blanket for the top of your right foot, because having your right foot either on wood floor or tile is going to be super uncomfortable if you're on carpet. So have a look from behind. I'm going to place my left top of foot or ankle on top of my right foot and slowly sit back into a child's pose or sit back onto the foot. I'm on the floor right now. This is very, very uncomfortable, so I'm going to come back to the side. So as you're ready, again, the bone at the top of your left foot or into the ankle, pressing onto the fascia of that right foot. And slowly start to shift your weight back as you're here. You can use that bolster or pillow as you're here just to give you some leverage so that you can sink in towards this compression of the tissue. So a little bit of myofascial release. Now I'm going to start my timer here. We're just going to spend maybe a couple minutes here. The knees will not be aligned. They will be staggered, so don't be alarmed if they're not aligned. But just feel the tissues underneath your right foot as you're here. We're doing a little bit of compression using the top of the left foot or even into the ankle, that little sharper, kind of more bony area, to press in towards that plantar fascia. Take a deep in breath and a deep out breath. Again, deep in breath and deep out breath. And notice if there is a lot of guarding right away. See if you can allow your exhalations to assist you into letting go of some of that guarding. And if the breathing doesn't help, that might mean that you've gone too far in the pose where there's too much pressure. So feel free as you're here to maybe shift your weight forward a little bit, change the angle a little bit so you're not so hard on those tissues. Again, with a slow, consistent practice, you'll find that there will be change. This is not a practice worth one and done. So you want to keep coming back to Yin yoga practice, of course, balancing out with your yang practices. Okay, so Yin is meant to be complementary to whatever yang practices that you do. You've got another 30 seconds here to go. So as you're here, just begin to notice the tissues are being squeezed, almost like you're squeezing a sponge, looking for a sense of circulation and hydration as you're here. Take one more slow deep inhale out. And as you breathe out, very slowly, take your time. We're not jumping out of the pose. We're taking our time to shift our weight back to all fours, back to tabletop, and take your time to unravel the leg there, the feet, and just notice there, right side, left side. I'm noticing a nice flood of energy running through the sole of my right foot. It feels fantastic. If you would like, come to your elbows or onto your hands and extend your right leg back behind you, tuck your toes, and just shift your weight back into a beautiful counter pose. But notice the rebound. Notice the response or the feedback that your tissues are giving you. You can also linger in child's pose or even wrestle to your back for the rebound. But take a moment to observe left side and right side. There probably is a noticeable difference between the two. And if you would like to take a down dog, you're more than welcome to, just to observe and see and feel the difference between both sides. And I'm noticing a significant difference. I'm noticing my right foot reaches down, my left foot, if you see on the camera here, is not reaching down. So let's head to second side so we're even. So let's come back to all fours. Grab your bolster, have it under your elbows to here. Again, you can do this seated, and I'll show you that in a moment. So take a moment there to untuck your toes. This time we're targeting the fascia of our left foot. So take the top of your right ankle or the top of that foot, more the bony part of your foot, onto that plantar fascia of your left. Okay? So as you're here, tempo in. If it's too much, shift your weight forward. Notice that it's less load onto the feet. As you shift your hips back, there's going to be a little bit more sensation, more load. And then the other option is, as I mentioned earlier, is sitting all the way upright. I have to go slow because this one is quite intense. For you, it might not be as intense. I would highly recommend to grab your pillow and use the pillow or even a chair. Just face it the other way where the seat is facing you. Just resting your arms on it and hanging out like this. If you're in this more upright position where there's more load to your feet. Now, as you can see, I'm tensing up. My nervous system, I'm noticing it's kind of going into this fight, flight, freeze, fawn mode. I'm feeling the muscles contracting, so I'm going to go back to where I was, where I'm at my elbows, and just tempo as you're here. So notice that maybe the left side for you is a little more tender or not. And just breathe. Breathing in through your nose, and maybe out through your nose or through your mouth. Choosing a breath, a type of pranayama that resonates with you. Something that is easy and smooth, that is generous and full. Soften through your shoulders. Notice the sensations that you're receiving, you're observing in your body. More cycles of breath there. Nice, smooth, and easy. One more slow, deep breath. And as you breathe out, gently start to open your eyes and really take your time to come out of the pose. So slowly shifting your weight forward, taking your right top of foot away or off the left foot as you're here. Maybe tapping your left toes and moving it behind you. But again, I want you to maybe just there, in this pose here or in child's pose, just notice the sensations and the feedback your body is giving you from being into the variation of child's pose or the Japanese seiza with the plantar fascia switch. Okay, that little mild fascia release. Now I'm going to go ahead and try my downward facing dog and measure to see if maybe this side is more congruent or even. And yes, it is. Take a slow deep breath and a slow deep out breath. Try not to slip on this blanket. Okay, slowly come back to all fours. Maybe a cat-cat. And now we're going to move in towards a little bit of loading the Achilles. And we're not looking for a lot of load. We can do traditional overstepping dragon pose, which where the knee is past the toes. But today, let's try using a blanket of some sort. So grab your blanket and just roll it up, creating a nice little roll or a little ramp for the ball of your foot. So I'm taking the blanket, rolling it up into this little small little skinny burrito. I'm going to grab my blocks for either side of my hand for support. Remember, the blocks can go low, medium, or high. And this knee is padded, so I still have the rest of the blanket. Let's start off with the right foot. So step your right foot onto this little burrito roll, the ball of the right foot there. And we're gonna drag the right knee over the right toes as we're here. So I like overstepping dragging with the blanket just because it provides me a lot more sensation. I'm gonna move my left leg back just a little bit more comfortable here, and feel free to sneak this leg in if you're feeling like you wanna come this way. You're still gonna get in towards the Achilles here. Otherwise, I'm adding a bit of this hip flexor stretch in the left leg as well, or stress, healthy stress. So as you're here, slowly start to walk your blocks forward, and then notice my knee is gonna go towards the toes. For you, it might go past your toes. The heel, your right heel doesn't need to lift up off the ground. In fact, with this inclination here, you might probably just notice that you're already getting sensation without having the heel lifted. Now this one, I'm getting a nice compression to the front of my right ankle. Start to tighten. I'm getting a nice stress along the tendon of the Achilles. And what I'm doing is I have my body over my right thigh. That way, I can use that weight of my body onto the thigh to create more load in towards this front leg. So I can create a little bit more eustress along the Achilles. Now, sometimes I'll show you here, and then here. If your leg is off to the side, here and here, you're not gonna get as much sensation in towards the Achilles. You're probably gonna feel a little bit more through the inner thighs, but everyone is different. So you might wanna give that a try. Otherwise, the body on top of the thigh will give you a nice, generous loading, different angle with the blanket as well. Will create that nice tension or pull and tug of the tissues of the Achilles. Now soften your shoulders as you hear. Notice if your left leg is back, you'll feel a nice stress, healthy stress, in towards that left hip flexor, the left thigh, the quadriceps there. Let your head drop. If that's comfortable for you now, just simply breathe as you're here. Have another minute and 22 seconds. So really, as you're here, notice if there's any unconscious muscular efforting. If there is, give yourself the permission to dial back a smidge. Time starts to elapse. Or maybe it might be a little bit more of that garden that starts to come up when you're in pose. Just in time. As you're ready, very carefully press into your hands and take your time to shift your weight back. Again, taking a moment here just to notice how you feel. So I'm going to lay onto my belly into a quasi-sphinx pose. You're more than welcome to come to child's pose. But take a moment here just to notice right side, left side. Notice the Achilles, maybe still the vibration of the plantar fascia smush that we did earlier. out breath. And one more time, deep in breath. And deep out breath. As you're ready, you can slowly bring our hands by our ribs and push all the way back up to all fours. Feel free to take a down dog if you like. Otherwise, I'm going to prepare for the second side. So I'm going to roll up my little blanket again and prepare for side number 2. Now each side is going to be different, so I want you to gauge into how much load you need. Again, not too little, not too much, but just right. Step your left foot onto the blanket. You can also use your mat. So if you want, you can roll up your mat, the top of your mat, if you don't have a blanket. Otherwise, we're going to begin as we're here. Take your time. Create that inclination for your foot. Walk your right leg back so you get a nice subtle opening for the front of your right hip. And gently start to pull the back of your left leg into the lower leg there, the calf, the Achilles. Blocks to support you in this one. The blocks can move back if you like. Notice the different angle. When I have moved the blocks back, there's going to, for me, generates a little bit more sensation in towards my right flexor. I still feel sensation toward the Achilles on my left leg. But as I drop my body more to this leg, more pressure, more load here. Again, choosing what works best for you. When I just did that, observation is that I started to clench a little bit. I can feel my calf muscles start to engage. So I'm just going to pull back a little bit and find my happy middle ground. This is a Goldilocks principle in our Yin practice. So as you're here, see if you can soften through all 5 of your left toes. Notice that there is a little bit of compression to the front of your left ankle as you gently gaze towards your left foot. Structure, just notice the structure of your foot. The heel, which we call a calcaneus. The Achilles. And attached one continuous line of fascia, or calf, the hamstring, the glutes. So you can soften just a little bit more as you're here. Slowly take your time to come out of the pose. Take your time to walk yourself using the blocks, your hands. I'm feeling a disinclination to come out of the pose as I'm here. I'm going to take that Sphinx pose because that one resonates with me. Again, you can take child's pose, you can take a downward facing dog. But I do want you to notice the rebound. So I'm going to come back into my belly. Releasing the hip flexors there. Oh, notice the difference in the fascia of your feet and the calves. Take a slow deep in breath and a slow deep out breath. A slow deep in breath and a slow deep out breath. From here, we're going to head into our ankle squats. So we're going to have our shingles down towards the ground, tops of the feet down towards the ground. Again, have the blanket available. I'm I'm going to give you another option if you want a little bit more of this one. You can always lean back and lift easier here. This is going to get more of the shoulders, the top of the ankles. You can do one knee at a time. And you can twist side. You can even just sit into Japanese Seiza. Okay. Another option is to roll up the back of your blanket. So I'm already starting the timer already. So even 3 minutes is a substantial enough amount of time for this pose. So this one will take my foot more into this opening to the ankle. So notice I can place my feet, tops of feet down. And as I'm here, as I sit back, notice how there's a little bit more, it's a different angle. So notice the top of it. The feet there, the ankle. And so for me today, this resonates. Leaning back for me doesn't resonate for me today, but other days it does. So I want you to really gauge into meeting where your body is at. What does it need today? This one I feel nice, generous opening from the front of my ankle, from the front of my feet, through my shins, my quads as well, which is quite nice. You can take the pillow in front of you and just rest your elbows on that. You can even take your hands and then rest your chin on towards your hands, like so. Just close your eyes. But notice again as you're here, if you're going too hard, or if you're being a little bit more, there's a little bit of athleticism and you're kind of striving or efforting in your posture, allow yourself to let that go. So really think about just the mobility and just reviving the tissues that work so hard for you. Some of us may have certain conditions. We mentioned that in this video. You can always press pause if you need to. But you can always simply block as you're here. You can do one leg at a time, so you just do one leg at a time instead. Maybe that might be better for your knees. That's okay as well. Again, choosing a variation that will suit you today, your body's needs, and where your body is at. So I want you to customize the pose for your body. We've got 25 more seconds to go. If you did one side, pause the video and then do the other side. Take a couple minutes on each side and make sure you do your down. Take one more slow deep breath. Out breath allow as you slowly shift forward. Release the prop as you need to. And then take a moment there. Unroll your blanket. Just kick off. Sit back. Tuck your toes for a moment there. And let's come to toe squat. Just for a moment as a counter pose, tuck your toes and shift your feet back as you're here. You may want to play with the angle of this one too. You might want to scoot your knees forward. That's a different sensation. You can notice the ankle shifts more towards the tip of your toes as opposed to moving them back. Okay. But we're not here for very long. It's just a counter pose. We've done plantar fasciitis. So where I want to go next is laying down onto your back. We're going to take our supine hamstring stretch. So untap your toes. You can do a little pitter patter if you like. And as you're ready, grab your strap. Now, if you want to just hold on to the strap on either side with both hands on either side of the strap, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, be looping it. If you do have a yoga belt or yoga strap, looping it will be nice so that you won't need to hold on to the strap. So from here, take your strap through the 2 D-rings. Open up the mouth of the D-ring, over, under, through. The most important thing with a strap is that you don't want the buckle on your skin, and you want the tail end of the strap close towards your hand so you can cinch it when you need to, or you can give it a little slack if it's too much. So I've started off with a generous loop so that I can tighten it as I need to. So let's lay down onto our back. Let's start off with our right leg. So take the strap if you have it looped up, tail in nice and close towards your hands, underneath your armpits. So as you can see, here, not here, here, not here, here. Notice how my back is pinning down the strap to the ground and not arching my back because it's not down low. From here, take your right foot in the strap. Slowly pull the strap closer towards you. Okay. Or pull on the tail end of the strap to make it a little bit more taut. I'm going to give it actually a little bit of give there. Okay, so lower back, see if it's okay. If it's okay, then extend your left leg forward. As you're here, you take your left thumb around the right, your right thumb towards your right hip crease. Create space for that hip as you're here. And just notice the whole line of tissue, the continuity of tissue through the back of your right leg. And notice that continuity doesn't just end at your sitting bone. It continues all the way up through the back of your body, lower back, right? The flank of your back, right? Shoulder, neck, scalp, eyebrow. Everything is one continuous sheath of beautiful, resilient, strong tissue. This one, soften your right knee as you notice this continuity of tissue. And notice if you have a tendency to boss your hamstrings around. I used to have that. Now I just don't even boss my hamstrings around because I know that they will get angry. So I'm going to not boss them around. Give them some slack, maybe soften that right knee just a little bit, and I found that magic angle, that magic spot to linger in. Feel that dull achiness? It's not painful, it's dull and achy. Magnificent. So linger there, breathing towards this whole right side, back side, posterior chain. We've got 36 more seconds to go. I'm doing all the timing for you. You don't need to worry about timing unless you want to stay longer and pause the video, which is entirely up to you. Take one more slow deep breath. As you breathe out, gently start to open your eyes. Take your time first. Bend your left leg. Release the right foot out of the strap. And take a moment there just to let that right leg simply rest. Now feel the circulation in that right leg. Do you feel that? It's so profound. This human body of ours is magnificent. It's an ecosystem. right hip, the back of your left leg, the back of your right leg. Notice the subtle differences, the little discrepancies between the two. That'll give you an idea how you need to approach the left side. So let's bend the knees again. Take your left foot to the strap. Take your time. Okay, so this side might be a little bit different, or not that much. Okay, so my strap's twisted. Okay, there we go. Better. This one I need to tighten a little bit more, or maybe not. From there, slowly start to extend your right leg once you've got your left leg settled in. As you extend the right leg, notice that tissue pull. If it's too much for your low back, recommend to take the sole of your left hip back down towards the earth. If you're shaking a lot, bend the knee. Maybe take the knee towards the chest, or maybe take happy baby pose. You're still going to get into the hamstring that way. So don't worry, or don't be too concerned about how the pose looks like. Feel it out. Notice if you're engaging, pressing that right leg down due to maybe habit. Relax or let go. Find easing towards that right thigh. Let the right foot turn out or turn in, depending on the rotation of where your leg wants to rest. And then feel that tissue line through that left foot, calf, hamstring, low back, left side low back, the whole flank of tissue on the left side of your body, right? Through the shoulder, the neck, the skull, left eyebrow. Okay, I'm going to soften my left leg just a little bit. I'm noticing there's a little bit of muscular effort in. I gotta let that go. I'm going to find my magic sweet spot, not bossing my hamstring around. The magic spot, the angle that resonates with you is most important. Relax the hands, the arms. Close your eyes and just breathe. Slow deep breath. As you breathe out, take your time to open your eyes. Bend your right leg. Release your left leg slowly from the strap. Let your legs just extend out to Shavasana. You can remove the strap out from underneath you. Just notice the circulation of your feet, your calves, and your hamstrings. Take a big breath. And a deep out breath. And one more time, deep in breath. option is swan pose. So swan is your favorite or one of your favorites, you can take that. I'm going to take figure 4 since we're laying down and turn our back. Right ankle over your left thigh. Now you can stay here, or you can lift your legs and reach your hands through the keyhole of your legs, holding behind your left hamstring or your left shin bone as you're here. You also use your strap. If your arms are unable to reach your legs there, take your strap just over the shin bone or underneath the hamstring here. That might be nice for you. And then breathe in towards your right hip, your right side glute. And as you're here, just take a moment to go slow. You'll find that as you go slow, you'll notice there's a certain angle that will resonate with you. So slowly start to move or tilt your legs towards the left side. And gently towards the right side. And then see which one really is hitting a spot for you today that is the aha, this is it spot. So for me, it's tilting towards the left, very slightly. And then a little play of drawing my left thigh closer towards my chest, which will create more pull towards that right glute if you notice. For less, you're here. For more, you're here. For less, you're probably coming towards the center instead of rolling towards the left side. Again, you're just right. Not too little, not too much, but just right. Now take a deep in breath towards your right glute. And slowly out breath. See if you can really engage in towards the sitting bone of the right side. That's the bony part of your butt. And see if you can soften that area, really directing your intention and your awareness in towards that right side. You have 30 more seconds, 37 to the legs up. Yourself back to center. You're tilted towards the left side. Open your eyes. Take a moment there to pause at the center, releasing your figure 4 pose. Ooh. I heard something pop. It felt good. That's part of that fixation. And just pause there. Notice the rotation of the leg, notice the openness of that glute. Maybe the pelvis on the right side feels a little bit more closer towards the earth, more proximal. All of these subtle nuances are so interesting. Take a slow, deep in breath. And deep out breath. Okay, second side. Bend your knees. Left ankle, right thigh. You can stay here if you like. Some people like to use a block. Right here, this is another variation. Maybe you don't want to reach your hands through. This might be just enough for you. Right? So your body, whatever maybe a past injury, something, tissue adhesion, scarring. Maybe as you come to the pose, right, where you're using all those experiences as our teachers, right? Those are your teachers. So, here, side to side slowly. rolling slightly towards your right side. Maybe, maybe not. So it depends, right? If you've had maybe replacement, meniscus injury to tears, you want to be very mindful of that, right? Those are always your teachers. Take a moment here just to, again, draw awareness in towards your left side of your body. Specifically, towards the left sitting bone area and the tissues that are surrounding it and attached to it. All the several different layers of connective tissue, fibers, even the liquid fascia, the extracellular matrix. All the different nerve endings. So intelligent. Deep in breath, deep out breath. We've got 30 more seconds. And feel free to linger here, put the video on pause if you want a little bit more. We do have your timer so that you're even on both sides. Otherwise, as you're ready, take a deep in breath through your nose. And as you breathe out, very slowly tilt yourself back to center. Take your time to release your core. Stretch out both legs. And I am moving the blocks because now we're going to come into Shavasana. So for Shavasana, you might need the blocks either underneath your knees or your thighs. Feet sole to sole, supporting your thighs. One hand to heart, one hand to belly, taking your Shavasana here. Take a deep inhale through your nose. And a deep exhale out through your mouth. And a deep inhale. Deep cleansing exhale. And one more time. Let it go. Let your breathing find its natural rhythm, creating its own symphony. Taking about 5 minutes here for yourself to rest. Notice how you feel in your entire body. Noticing your legs and feet to your Achilles, your calves, your hips, your glutes, your hamstrings. Now, for video purposes, for time, I'm going to end the video here. Otherwise, if you do have the luxury of time, please stay for at least 5 minutes for final rest and relaxation, for you to absorb the beauty of the practice. Otherwise, be grateful that you practiced and you showed up for yourself. You slowed down, and hopefully you've enjoyed this practice today and the potency of just showing up and slowing down and creating a safe, quiet space for yourself. My thanks to all of you for practicing with me. Again, my name is Lisa J, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.